I swear, if my aunt came home, I probably sound like a crazy person right now. Hello, my name is Decca. I am a merchandise designer and illustrator based in Texas. This is gonna be like my first time actually trying to properly vlog an event. I have been tabling for about a year now, and I never actually put together like real vlogs before because I'm used to short form content that's like low investment as far as editing goes. So we'll actually see if I manage to put this out because I am super duper lazy. But so I am in the middle of preparing for CawaCon 4. I am going to be setting up my display today, and then tomorrow is when the convention actually starts. Very excited to only pack my display and not like my inventory. I have a lot of things to still prepare, but it's kind of interesting because CawaCon was actually like my very first convention, and I've told this story before on this channel, and I could probably like do an entire video on how I got into Artist Alley and why I think the way that I went about it is like not the best way. But it is interesting and really nice to be back tabling this event, and I'm interested also to see like how it goes. I guess interested is just the theme of this convention because it is a little bit there are some things that changed between last year and this year. For one thing, Kawa used to be in March. It is January, and it is also like the week after Ikicon. So that's something that I know people were mentioning. And then there's also the fact that Kawa upgraded from a 2-day convention into a 3-day convention. So this is also going to be the first time I'm tabling at a 3-day event. So hopefully things go well, and hopefully I prepared enough. It is the first day of ColaCon. I didn't sleep until 5 in the morning. I got up at 8:30. I hope that I can grab like some caffeine or something before I get to the convention center, but also would not be the first time I'm running a show with like 2 hours of sleep. So it is currently 6 p.m. day one. Me and Malia are so tired. I I spent an hour getting signatures today, but oh. There are just some things that don't photograph well, and my bangs have decided to be one of them, which is great. It is day 2 of Kawakan, and we're just getting ready to go down and bring all of my stuff, which hopefully we'll be able to do it. We'll be able to make multiple trips anyway because our hotel isn't that far from the convention center. But I heard that numbers are projected to be a little bit higher than what was expected. And yesterday was like, it was a Friday, so it wasn't super crazy as far as traffic goes. I did make a lot more sales than I expected, but because of that, I don't really know how Saturday is gonna be. Hopefully it's good, obviously for profit reasons, but um, I don't know. When trying to stock for this event, I kind of just went based off of like last year's number and the fact that this con is a week after IkiCon, and it is going to be a Friday that's the extra selling day. So I don't know. We'll see. Apparently, according to my helper, people have been referring to my booth as the high Q table, which is really funny because I'm dripped out in Shohoku stuff today. uh, but yeah, I mean, people recognize it, so that's good. But I gotta figure out the logistics of taking everything back down. So yeah, of course. How's your hair today? It is 2 p.m. and me and Malia are gonna try the really difficult task of eating lunch while behind the table. Traffic has been pretty good today, so I'm pretty happy. Been selling a lot more totes, which is good because they're like super heavy and I don't like taking them back and forth. The last day of Kawakan and we're about, I think, like 2-ish hours in. Um, it's been fun. Um, we're mostly worried about like how we're gonna take everything back, but I have my emotional support Mippy. He's been clocked in at the crab store. I don't really know where Malia went. She said she was gonna go to the ATM to lock up her cash so she doesn't spend more money. But she deserves a little bit of a break because I did leave her here for like over an hour when I was trying to get signatures on Friday. So yeah, but yeah, Texas really likes Bokuaka. I think I sold like most of the shakers I sold have been Bokuaka. Like all the tote bags pretty much that I've sold have been the Fukurodani stuff. So like I don't know if I just missed the memo, but like Texans really like they're really rocking with my favorite guys. So taking down, and Valia is just going to return the bay card because they did let us use the bay to load up, which is great because it's super cold. And she's back! Hello! So we're just getting ready to go and get dinner with friends. Hello, we are back from Kawa, and I just woke up from my post-convention coma. Do not ask me what time it is. But as I'm filming this, I'm realizing that it probably would have been better to do an end of day recap like after each day, but I didn't do that, so I'm gonna hope I have a lot of B-roll, and if I don't have a lot of B-roll, then we get to hang out and you get to look at my face and I get to feel awkward about it in editing. So I'll start with sales because I feel like that's something people might be curious about, especially if they worked Kawa last year. I don't remember off the top of my head how much I made at last year's KawaCon, like exactly. All I can say is that I definitely made way more this year than last year. Um, by the end of Friday, I had already almost broken even. I hadn't quite broken even yet, but I had made back table like way early in the day, which I was super surprised about, mostly because I wasn't expecting there to be people on Friday. Not because of the event itself, but just because it was like a weekday. And then my helper was like, well, you have a long weekend. So if it were me, I would take a Friday and take a 4-day weekend. And I was like, oh, yeah, like I hadn't thought of that. But I don't think of a lot of things. So, but yeah, I was very happy with my earnings from Friday and going into Saturday. I definitely like it was a good sales day, especially because I think I had pretty much made the amount of money that I made on Saturday was the amount that I had made at last year's event, plus some extra. Sorry, I don't know if you could tell, but I really needed to sneeze at the end of that other clip. But yeah, Saturday was a good day. Sunday, I believe, was my slowest day. I also think it was my lowest earning day, but I haven't like crunched all of my numbers yet, so I'm not sure. But by the end, for sure, I had definitely made way more than I did last year. As far as vibes, this convention was amazing. I want to shout out staff because I do feel like they were extremely proactive throughout the entire event, like just about checking in with people and making sure things were okay. They're very attentive to their artists, which I think is really great and really nice. One of my friends was actually volunteering. I'll put his app up here, and it was really great just checking in every now and then just to see how things were going. But yeah, like I am super grateful to everybody that stopped by my booth this weekend. I would get a little bit shy whenever people would be like, "Oh, I saw this on Instagram," or like, "Oh, I saw this like online somewhere." But it like I appreciate the fact that you stopped by and that you remember me. I think one of the more surprising interactions I had this weekend was somebody came up to my booth and they were like, "Hold on a second, did you draw this?" And like, wait, hold on, let me see if I have it. Okay, so somebody came up to my booth and they like reached into their bag and they were like, "Is this you?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, yes, that is me." This is a charm that I had designed for a zine organized by a friend. Love you, Chip. And the fact that they like remembered my tag too was also like, whoa, because I feel like my tag is like kind of weird. I did actually have to spell it for security when I checked in, and they were like, "Can you spell deductivisms for me?" And I'm just like trying to remember like where all the I's and all the S's go, and I'm like, "Sure, yeah, like give me a second." Sorry, I did have to take a break because my mic was dying and I couldn't figure out why, and it's because I forgot to charge the mic itself and not just the connector. So yeah, I got to see a lot of friends who are part of the cosplay community, the vending community. It was really, really great to see everybody. Again, thank you for stopping by. Everyone was super sweet, and I think it was Ash. I'll put their at on the screen. They like low key. I was like trying not to get emotional, like in the middle of the event. Because they had stopped by, this is not in a bad way, because they stopped by my table and they like mentioned like, "Wow, like you've grown so much since the last time we saw each other." And I think as an artist, like in general, when it comes to a lot of things, I don't typically like, I'll look back and think to myself like, "Oh yeah, I've definitely grown," but I feel like I don't super internalize the growth that I've experienced. I don't usually give myself props, and that's usually because I think to myself like, this was fine, but I can do so much more. I can be so much better. And so having somebody come by and like basically like help me sit there and like think to myself like, yeah, like you really did like do a lot of work, put in a lot of work over the past year. And the fact that that growth was like palpable and like tangible, and it's something that people like remember me from previous events, and then they're like able to compare the setup that I had before to where I am now. So anytime somebody mentions like that sort of thing, because I know like several people come by and they're like, "Wow, like you have like so much new stuff," like I just it really gets me. So again, like thank you for stopping by, thank you for chatting, for checking in with me. And of course the friends that I was able to show my little guy his new outfit that he was wearing during the event. But that is the end of my recap and my vlog. So thank you so much if you stayed until the end. Hopefully I can do more of these. I don't know. We're still like trying to figure out if I'm even gonna have the energy to like edit all of this. But yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Me when I palm his head like a freaking basketball.